All
right.
I'll get in the zone. Shake off the shit. Shake off the shit. All right, I'm in. I'm in, lads.
That was your intro right there.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay.
I had something
Excellent.
planned, but you had something better.
Oh, well, that's good because I was going to try and think of something creative in case you put me on the spot of going, do you want to do an intro? And I'm like, but I hadn't. I forgot about it. But anyway, another week, gentlemen, another week of home entertainment. And it's a good week because this week we're actually seeing a bunch of 4K Ultra HD hit the market. So both new and some classic titles coming to 4K Ultra HD. But the first one I'll mention is, of course, probably the biggest release in terms of box office and amount of people probably purchasing it. And it's Transformers Rise of the Beasts. It's coming out on all the formats as to be anticipated, 4K, Blu-ray and DVD. Good news, though, is that the 4K and Blu-ray both have Dolby Atmos. So if you're not looking for that uptick in quality in, picture or Dolby Vision, you could easily get the Blu-ray and experience the same great audio.
Well, I mean, how else are you going to listen to?
Exactly. And you want to feel the entire room rumble.
Yeah, that's right.
But in terms of featurettes, special features, I should say, there's 9 featurettes and there's deleted scenes. There's no commentary on this one, which is a bit of a shame because, typically with these films, they don't double dip when it comes to releasing like a collector's edition. They just repackage all the films together in a 9-film set and whatnot.
People do not need a commentary. They just need to go back to a past episode of Good Movie Monday, play the interview I had with Dino De Laurentiis. I was going to fucking say Dino De Laurentiis.
I want to listen to that one.
Lorenzo Di Bonaventura and the Stephen K. Jr., the director, and the actors.
They should just get Michael Bay to do commentaries on all the Transformers movies. And the ones that he didn't direct, he just talks about how he would have done it better and how...
Yes, totally. Well, I'm curious to know if anyone's actually listened to a Transformers commentary, say, post the first Transformers, because the first one, obviously, people would have been a bit G'd up and excited, but has anyone bothered listening to those commentaries? Maybe that's what they've done. They've done some market testing and they go, look, to be honest, it's just fluff. It's just filler. Yeah. So let's just stick those featurettes we pre-made for marketing on there and include some deleted scenes. But anyway, yeah, that one's out on all the formats this week. Pretty much the lion's share of releases. In fact, all the releases this week are Universal Sony, but they are from the different companies. Obviously, that one being Paramount. The next one is from the Sony studios, and it's Insidious: The Red Door, which I saw a couple of weeks back. I think I mentioned it, rented it on PVOD, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. It does really bookend the series if it were to end here. Yeah, but it made a lot of money, so I dare say there will be an Insidious 6 come, a couple of years' time.
Are we taking bets on whether that will actually end the...
Well, we know there's a new spin-off coming, so...
yeah, well, there you go, exactly. Yeah. So that could be the territory it drifts into.
They're going into an Insidious story type of territory.
Of course. So, I mean, yeah, because there's work for more prequels with this franchise, if anything. But unfortunately, obviously, it's only getting a Blu-ray and DVD release. That's global. There's no 4K coming. And given that Sony's only recently released the first film on 4K in the States and all the other chapters have only been on Blu-ray, maybe there's hope for a 4K package down the track. But in terms of special features, I'm bitterly disappointed with this release, particularly given that it was, Patrick Wilson's directorial debut. It doesn't even have a commentary. It's got like 2 featurettes on it. That's it. 2 featurettes. One is on Patrick Wilson, but let's just say these featurettes are, again, marketing fluff, EPK stuff that's probably readily available on the internet, but being put on this release, but we don't even get a bloody trailer, which I think's a travesty in this day and age that these releases are coming out. And it's the cheapest thing that you can stick on there is a trailer. And more often than not, it's not on the release. And I know people go, but you can watch the trailer on YouTube. I don't want to watch the fucking trailer on YouTube. I put the Blu-ray in. I want to watch the trailer now. I always love looking at the trailer after finishing a film just to see how it was packaged and marketed, and also to spot those shots that didn't end up in the movie or alternate shots that were used in the trailer. So it's a bit disappointing. And again, I don't see them reissuing a special edition of this because they haven't done that with any of the previous franchise entries, except obviously with the 4K release of the first film, which is just in the States, because I don't know locally if Icon still hold the license to the first film or not. So if you do want the first one on 4K, you're going to have to import it. But also from Universal Sony, and this time from, again, the Sony catalog, actually, No Hard Feelings. with Jennifer Lawrence. That's coming out on Blu-ray and DVD. And again, this one's a bit of a non-event when it comes to special features. I think you got 2 featurettes and a bloopers reel. So that's it. I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, there's a particularly good wrestling scene in it, maybe, or something of that nature. So maybe they could have done some extended scenes of that.
That scene, the scene you're talking about is Jennifer Lawrence in full frontal nudity.
Yes, that's what I was alluding to. Yeah,
I don't know if they could.
If there's anything more to be extended. It's an interesting film for her to make too, considering she's sort of, I guess, reinventing herself to a degree, and this is the first film to kind of come out from that, and it's a shame. Well, I mean, look, I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. It might be excellent.
The film is actually really good. Like, it is hilarious.
It's just that I just thought that there would be something better for her to do than, say, this kind of comedy.
No, I like
given
that she's
turned in some great performances.
Man. It's like she's doing what I want Tom Hanks to do and go back to that kind of.
Well, yeah, true. Maybe she's doing those films she never quite got to do because she was kind of thrust from doing something like, was it Winter's Bone or something like that, straight into the dramatic, sort of spotlight, and sort of saw that out for a number of years. So yeah, maybe it is great.
She did get her start on the Bill Engvall show on a one of those really bad.
American sitcoms,
like Jeff Foxworthy type show, like it's like a southern one where it's
of course, and it's one of those ones that never quite reached us because I don't think Australia took to Jeff Foxworthy, although he did come out and tour. But I tried, and I was just like, I don't know, didn't they kind of spin it off from Home Improvement back in the day? There was like a crossover and stuff.
Think it would have been
yeah.
This is, and Bill Engvall is the. I think he's another one of those guys that does those, the redneck comedy tours or whatever they are.
Oh yeah, Larry the Cable Guy, and
do you remember the Red Green
stuff.
Yeah.
No.
The Red Ring show? Did you watch that on the internet?
Green show.
That name rings a bell. Yeah.
It was kind of like a Home Improvement, but a Canadian one.
Okay, no, fair enough.
I thought it was a
Tom Green crossover with someone else with the surname Red.
No, what's that computer game that the kids are all playing?
Command and Conquer. Oh no, that was about 30 years ago.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Halo.
Halo, yes, yeah. I think that was about 20 years ago too, but it doesn't end.
All right, so just done the TV series of it, and you're like,
yeah, I saw Paramount. It was on Paramount Plus. I mean, there's a few people that were championing it, but I also heard it was a load of shit. So I was verging on the load of shit because I hadn't played the game. So I figured, fuck it. So other releases that are coming out this week. Now, all of these other releases are from Studio Canal, and they are sort of classic titles making their way to 4K Ultra HD for the first time. Of course, that's headlined by The Wicker Man. And this is the stellar release of The Wicker Man. I'll tell you why, because it's retailing for under $30. It is only 2 discs, both of 4K Ultra HD, but both contain all 3 cuts of the film and contain all the special features that are on the 5-disc edition that they're releasing in the UK with, bloody soundtrack of covers and all this other nonsense, because the 2 Blu-rays in that have the exact same content that's on the 4Ks. So realistically, if you don't need all that extra fluff, and I weighed it up, and for like an extra, $80 odd, I don't need that fluff. This is going to be a great addition. All the special features, all 3 cuts. I'm excited to pick it up, and under $30 is a price that's right, which is better than Roadshow's pricing for The Exorcist, which went up. Like when that thing was on pre-order, it was on pre-order for about $30, and as it got nearer to release, that thing jumped up to like $45 odd. And I assume their logic behind that is that we've included 2 4K discs. And you're like, well, congratulations, but you didn't include any special features on a Blu-ray disc with special features. So how that warrants a $45 price point, I don't know. But anyway, hats off to Studio Canal for not only including all that content on this 4K release, but keeping it under $30, which is good. 2 other titles that are coming out from Studio Canal, U571, which I know you gentlemen are super excited about, that it's actually getting a release on 4K Ultra HD. Did you? I saw it on DVD when it came out because it was one of those reference quality audio tracks, and I had zero interest in a submarine movie, but I was like, look,
you've been on this train for a long time.
I just like Harvey Keitel wearing his little sailor hat.
Oh, okay. I definitely prefer in clothes as opposed to him in the piano or Bad Lieutenant. Anything to cover up the little fella. Mama, mama. I'm so disturbed by that. Seeing that as that able for a bad lieutenant as a 15-year-old, it's stuck with me. Little Harvey Crumpet down there.
Yeah.
Oh. And we've also got Cutthroat Island, Rennie Harlan's Cutthroat Island with Matthew Modine and Gina Davis, which I'm excited to revisit. And it's coming at a really good time too, because this was kind of the career ender to a degree for Rennie Harlan. I know that he obviously did Long Kiss Goodnight, but that was, I think pretty much because maybe even Gina Davis got him across the line with that. But have you read the latest news about Rennie Harlan doing this Strangers trilogy?
No.
Oh, this is crazy, right? So they're all coming out next year. So Rennie Harlan is directing a trilogy of Strangers films that are based off the first film, but I believe maybe exist in the same universe as the first film. I don't know if they're retconning it and pretending Strangers Pray at Night didn't happen, which is a shame because that's my preferred, one of the two films. Yeah. But it's a trilogy of fucking films. So all three films, and then they'll come out slightly spaced apart. They released some stills this week, and the stills look great, but how much can you tell from stills? Often the stills look better than the finished film does.
Yeah.
But the thing I didn't like about it was like the first film will sort of set it all up. The second film will go into how this violence affects, victims and the ongoing thing. And I'm like, oh, that sounds a bit dramatic. Then the third film's and then we kind of explore the origins of why these people do what they do or whatever. And I'm like, way to ruin a simple concept. Yeah. The beauty of The Strangers is that we don't know anything. They could be anyone. They've come from nowhere, spoiler alert that they were, young sort of teenagers in the first film. Why do we need to know?
Yeah, he's doing a Rob Zombie.
Minds? Exactly.
Giving us too much.
We don't need that. I was just make 3 films with them looking rough and scary as fuck, knocking off people in remote locations, and we're done. But anyway, it is interesting, and it's interesting to see him do something that's, getting a little bit of coverage as well. But anyway, that's a complete aside. And then the last release I want to mention is coming out from Universal Sony, but it's from the Paramount catalog, and it's Halloween H2O, and it's coming out locally on 4K Ultra HD. Look, if you're a casual fan, I guess it's good to pick up because it's, under $30. It's just the film. I mean, in the States, Scream Factory have released the same, release, but, with an abundance of special feature content, commentaries, featurettes, deleted scenes. I think there might even be an alternate cut of the movie, like a TV cut or something of that nature. So there is a definitive release out there. So, and I mean, look, if you're getting Halloween H2O, I dare say you're probably not that casual a fan. You're probably invested in the franchise. So there's a good chance you might want to pick up the better edition for an extra $20-odd from the States. So it does seem like an odd move. But I mean, they've done it in the States too. Paramount have released it as well. But at least they've had the courtesy of releasing it like 18 months after Scream Factory did. It's not one of those 2-week windows where we'll release our cheap version before you come out with your deluxe one. But anyway, it is an exciting week because I don't think I've seen a week where there's been that many 4K Ultra HD releases.
You've got 3 more releases to talk about on the filthy...
Are they dirty DVDs from Eagle Entertainment and from somewhere else?
Well, I beg your pardon. One of them is our guest on this week's show. So the mean one is out on DVD.
Oh, the mean one. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I saw that. That's
Spooky
happening.
Halloween is coming out.
Yes, which is AKA... Spirit of Halloween, is it? Or what was the US title for it? It's named after... It's because it's set in the shop.
Store. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Sisu.
Oh, yeah, which it's great that Sony are releasing it physically, but only doing a DVD release.
But even though it is only DVD, it's a movie good enough for us to talk about it having a release.
Yeah, true. And let me know if you do like Sisu, and you want to own it, buy the version from the US. You can buy it on 4K Ultra HD.
Yep.
Not even just Blu-ray, but 4K Ultra HD, so they're completely skipped 2 formats. But yeah, so there's that one. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very keen to check it out.
It's good.
But yeah, it was one of those films that kind of had a bit of a, when it finally came out locally, it had already been out in the US on VOD. So I feel like it had been a victim of sort of rampant piracy because there was such good word for it that people were eager to see it and unsure if it would get a release. So they resorted to illegal measures to watch it.
I really am surprised, especially with 4Ks, because they're not region locked. Why they're not? I mean, remember back in the day with Blu-ray, they used to just...
and we'd get the UK ones.
UK and Australian classifications all on the disc, and they would just pump them out. So
I know, it's an odd... And that's the thing, I mean, some of the studios locally, like some of the, Universal Sony distro product from Paramount, For instance, The Untouchables and Fatal Attraction, they're out of print now because they only did a limited print run locally. But exactly that, they just use the international discs that had to carry the local classification, but they use the international discs. And similar with the Studio Canal stuff, you get a one run of a lot of these titles. Universal Soldier, Red Heat, a lot of these titles are no longer available locally. But yeah, so it is odd. I mean, realistically, if they just did a JB exclusive and brought in like 500 units or whatever, I think they would move. But yeah, and given the climate now with, you know, Universal Sony's catalog moving over to potentially all interactive distribution, maybe it'll change things. Maybe there is an opportunity to do these sort of things. I don't know. But yeah, it is odd. It seems like such a small thing because it's pressed and it's sitting there waiting. So go figure.
There we go. Another week.
Anyway, gentlemen, so we did get to mention those dirty DVDs. I only excluded them because there was so much 4K content.
Oh, right.
It wasn't anything directed at those particular films.
Right.
So, you know, apologies to the director of The Mean One. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to check it out, but I am saving it for the Christmas season. But all right, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. So until next time, stay physical.